I'm Cape Jewel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're going to take a closer look at the Mighty Thor issue number 7, the continuation of Loki's untold tale of a young Thor Odinson. So let's hop on in and find out what happens next, shall we? So, picking up from where the last issue left off, Thor drags his blonde butt back to Asgard after getting royally schooled in a fight by Boldoff the Black. This still very young and very immature Thor makes all manner of excuses for his defeat. You know, the sun was in my eye, I wasn't ready, he drank dragon blood, that's not fair. He then decides to drown the sorrow of his defeat in more ale than you could possibly imagine. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Boldoff, using his new dragon powers and the utter and complete indifference of Thor the Thunder God, goes on a complete and utter rampage across Scandinavia. He becomes the most powerful Viking warlord in the land, with chest overflowing with gold and all the women, wine, and song he could ever want. But as with anyone who makes a deal with Loki or any Faustian character for a great deal of power, this is ultimately a very empty endeavor. You see, soon he begins to curse his own monstrous transformation, and in doing so he starts to scare the local populace, so much to the point that they all pray in mass to Thor to come and help them. Forsooth, this meanest the young thunderer musteth pulleth his head out of his own asseth, before eventually heading on back down to Earth for round 2. Of course, Thor doesn't really have much of a plan for fighting Boldoff again, just, you know, hit him harder than before. Now, as you would have noticed, and as bears repeating, this comic is drawn in that weird kind of pseudo cave painting sort of style where everything's really dark and smudgy. It's a style that's all well and good for the quieter, talkier scenes that are basically Loki telling you a story from a book, but they get a little weirder during these action scenes where it's actually quite difficult to make out what's going on. Which is unfortunate because Jason Aaron's excellent narration makes this out to be the greatest, most epic fist fight you've ever seen in your life. They fight all across Viking territory, fight to the bottom of the ocean where they're looked upon by the Princess of Atlantis, Namor's blue-skinned mother. They fight so long and hard they eventually reach the place that America will one day be and are looked upon by, get this, I'm totally not making this up, the ancient version of the Ghost Rider, who in this book we find out is a Native American riding on a bear. Oh my god, why does Bear Rider not have like a million comic books in a movie? Seriously, just stop telling this whole Thor story right now and give me a whole mini arc on the history of Bear Rider. While it is a long fought and bloody battle, at the end of the day Thor is ultimately victorious, which means Boldoff is really angry at Loki for selling him what he assumes to be defective powers. Loki, evil god of mischief that he is, as well as being master of the sales pitch, reminds this guy that he should have read the fine print in their deal. Boldoff manages to survive this meeting, but he's forced to wander the earth forever trying to keep his monstrous side in half. So you know, basically an ancient Norse equivalent to the Hulk. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering what the hell did anything in this two-parter actually have to do with Loki and Dario Agger? Well, as we go back to the present, we see that Loki has actually taken Agger and his special forces unit to the same dragon that Boldoff got his powers from. Stranger still, what's the only thing Loki asks in return for these super soldiers that he's gifted to the Roxxon Corporation? Only a church. Yeah, it seems that he's a god who misses being worshipped. The Mighty Thor number 7 was an okay conclusion to what was ultimately an okay little two-part story. I don't know if the goal was just to stall for time until Civil War II tie-ins, or if Jason Aaron just really wanted to tell this story and the character of Boldoff is going to become important down the line, or if they just wanted to remind people that yes, Thor Odinson is still very much a part of the Thor book, and don't be surprised if he comes back soon. You know, it's just kind of hard to go back down to a smaller scale sort of story after these huge world-shaking, redefining events going on in Asgard with the other Thor. It's certainly not bad, but we know they can do so much better, and the art I was not personally a fan of. Overall, I would give this one a 6 out of 10, and I'm hoping this book gets back to business soon. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Jewel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.